All right, you want to pull up the Who Are These podcasts with Stuttering John? Okay,
Sure.
Things have gotten really serious in the Dabbleverse. I say this to the end so nobody can say, stop shoving Stuttering John down our throat. No, this is serious. Things have gotten insane.
It sounds very serious.
John met a young lady who was on a certain show. She started appearing on John's show. She's 24 years old. She's the daughter of comedian Kevin Meaney. John was looking out for her. He was concerned for her. Some of these older men in the Dabbleverse were taking advantage of her.
That's a great person I'd want concerned about me.
Absolutely.
That guy.
Yeah.
And so John acknowledged from the very start, he said, I would never hit on a 24-year-old. She's too young. I'm 58. That's far too young for me. But they got very close, and John started to cross that line and began fantasizing about a romantic entanglement with Kate Meaney. And she's very attractive. So the unfortunate thing about it is, I guess just maybe it's a way of keeping records, Kate started recording John's calls to her when he was hitting on her. Oof. And also using some questionable language, and also talking about some crimes he may or may not have allegedly committed in his past. And then Kate apparently may have played the calls for some people in the Dabbleverse.
Oh, boy.
And it's crazy. And so John is out of his mind now because nobody beats Stuttering John. He's the most famous. He's the Duke of the Dabbleverse. Everything revolves around him because he's so great. He's funnier and smarter than anyone in the Dabbleverse. But at 5:09, you can go to 5:09, the new show, this is where I think he's talking about his meeting with the FBI because he was recorded in a one-party state by Kate Meaney. I think she was in a two-party state, but he's in a one-party state.
Well, doesn't matter where it's recorded. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer.
I don't really think so. But the FBI apparently is pretty upset about it.
It's being recorded, right? Yeah, not
I would imagine.
who receives it.
But John talked to the FBI, and it sounds like a lot of people, including the Potato.
John, starting off his show from today, talking about what he's up to.
Don't worry. Don't worry. I filled out the report with the FBI, and I will make sure they uphold the rule of law. Okay? Not only one report.
I'll make sure.
Three
Those fingers.
against Kate Meaney, Shitware, and you.
That's Shuley.
And then, of course, the Potato.
Yeah, the FBI prosecutes potatoes sometimes.
Oh, and also obnoxious
That's
John.
Cardiff Electric appears as a potato.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fucking do what I'm supposed to do?
Go to 709. I think there's more on the FBI. This is, I mean,
The
you start talking
FBI
about the FBI, this is serious.
They're going to take it seriously. Thank you, Karl.
Some idiot on Twitter, there's never been anyone arrested for this. Oh, yes, there has. There's been plenty of people arrested for this.
Let's
And
hear
here come
who.
the examples, I bet.
Yeah.
I would imagine since some idiot on Twitter, and John obviously dismissed it because he just brought it up first thing on his show, and I was just like, what? So there's been plenty of people who've been arrested for this misdemeanor. Let's find out.
And there's going to be 5 new people to add to that list.
No
You are
examples.
not allowed to play, to record a guy in the state of California. You are not allowed to.
Okay, go to 2528. And if you recall, John was so upset and worried about Kate that he actually called her mother and her grandmother to try to arrange an intervention for Kate because she's a high-paid prostitute and also is having problems with drugs. Although, according to one of the tapes, allegedly, some people are saying that John asked her to bring 2 8-balls of cocaine to a wedding. So
crazy.
It's crazy. Maybe the intervention was for John and Kate.
I came to your daughter's
Plus eight.
defense. I couldn't have been a better friend to that slut. You call her daughter. But what did she do? She stabbed me in the back. You know, I'm no fan of Fatty Patty, but he was right about one thing.
Yeah.
Your daughter's a fucking slut, and she's an idiot.
That's 2 things.
3840, John points out, what we all know is that he is by far the biggest star in the Dabbleverse in the
Drew,
world. What?
Did anyone, was this played like anywhere online, or was it
The
just
phone calls?
Yes.
No, I think Shuley might have played a clip or two.
Oh, okay.
But
Maybe.
once
I don't
again-
even know. I'm
once
alleging
again,
that.
John gives it life by
no.
filling out the form. Does the FBI have forms? You just fill them out? And
I guess so.
And I'm going to hold their feet to the fire.
I've never been aware of a crime as serious as this that someone had to go and fill out forms
That's
with the FBI.
happened all the time.
I come to Atlantic City. Everyone's taking pictures with me.
Pause for a second. I can explain something.
So fucking mad. Child.
They had an event, the Dabbleverse did. It was not an official Dabbleverse event, just to make that clear. There was in Atlantic City at one of the bars there, and then a couple people arranged a stand-up event nearby. John was not doing stand-up at the event, but he's bragging because he went to the stand-up event, not even participating, and still everyone wanted his picture.
Isn't that the place where he wanted the guy kicked out for talking about my kids?
Yes.
Because that happens all the time. People get kicked out of casinos for talking about other people's kids.
He was yelling at a security guy who just walked up and had no idea what was going on. And John said, "He's trashing my kids." And the guy was like, "What?"
He's trashing people's kids right now, calling them slut.
I was a good friend to that slut.
Atlantic City, everyone's taking pictures with me. I come to the Gino Chad gig. Who's the biggest star in that room? Me. Who's everybody coming up to for pictures? Me. That's just how it works. I am a legend.
Have you ever heard anyone declare that they are a legend before?
No. John is legend. Felicia from Mr. Rose Company. John, again, befriended her professionally, and somehow he ended up hitting on her, too.
That's crazy.
And asked her out. And now she has revealed that, yeah, John asked me out. And so everyone's making fun of him because Felicia turned him down.
He's kind of like Stevie Nicks, right? She's in
Yeah, if
someone's
John's in
orbit.
your
She
orbit-
sleeps. If he's in your orbit, he's going to hit on you.
He will. That's how it seems. But this is John.
Positive and negative.
So John is so mad at Kevin Brennan.
Because he was a success and you are a failure. Neil
His brother
Brennan
Neil.
You a long time ago, and your brother Neil doesn't talk to you, and your father wouldn't even tell you that he loved you.
Wait, who's that?
Thank you, Mom.
John's mom.
Thank you, Mom.
Pause.
So you don't 1,007.
Oh my gosh! In the middle of this incredible rant, and his mom brings the mail in and drops it
I was
off.
gonna say it looked like clothes she folded for him too, or something. Whatever, it's bad.
What?
Loser.
You can't
Play
put
that
us.
again. I want to see that again.
Mom, I'm going to be doing a podcast. Do not come in the room.
Surprised he didn't go, Mom, get out of shot.
Kevin Brennan is nothing competitive. Oh, thanks, Mom.
The
Once
fact
again,
that
he's
being
the biggest
John, like,
loser.
Because he was a success and you are a failure. Neil Brennan eclipsed you a long time ago, and your brother Neil doesn't talk to you, and your father wouldn't even tell you that he loved you. Thank you, Mom.
that look on his face.
So you don't 1,007 in the room, Pinky.
You know, she was carrying some packages. I wonder if any of them had the keychains in it. She had a couple packages on her.
Go to 50, 53, 57. John was traveling cross country. He reached his destination, by the way, which was the wedding that he allegedly invited Kate Meany to, the 24-year-old daughter
Where
of
she
Kevin
burned a
Meany.
plate, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. She didn't go because, well, John found out that she was recording the calls and sharing it and having big laughs with everyone in the Dabbleverse. Whether they were played or not, I think there may have been a couple clips played, which John says were doctored, by the way.
Of course.
It's AI.
But yeah, then he couldn't bring her to the wedding, so his brother had to eat a plate at the wedding. That's how rude she is. At 53, 57, part of John's cross-country tour was he was going to beat up all the people in the Dabbleverse that he was angry with. Starting with Patrick Melton in Las Vegas, Patrick informed the entire Dabbleverse that I will not be home on this day. I'm leaving home this day at 6 p.m. These are the hours that I will be home and ready for you, John. And John, of course, came during the hours that Patrick said he wouldn't be home.
Of course he did.
Yeah. So John wants a rematch since Fatty Patty chickened out. And here's John's idea for where they should have a rematch, where John can beat him up.
So in the middle, from Vegas to New York, I would say, I don't know, Iowa,
Makes a lot of sense.
Illinois. Let's meet in Illinois. Okay? Let's meet
Sounds like fun.
So you think that's
in
halfway?
Rockford, Illinois. That's where the last show of my band opening up with Ted Nugent happened, in Rockford, Illinois.
Just wanted to say
I'll
that.
rock your fucking face. Okay? I'll fly, you fly, we meet. After our meeting, I will pay for your fat fuck flight back. One seat
you
for
won't.
you, one seat for your hunchback. Okay? Deal? I'll do it. I don't care. There's no fear in my eyes.
Okay, that's about it for the for today's episode from Karl, and I felt that was almost an emergency episode for us. We needed to get that out there.
I can't believe John doesn't have many friends. It's crazy. You'd think people would want to hang out with
You
him.
know, everything falls apart. Even Quadfather,
Exactly.
the handicapped guy that he was doing the show with for a long time. When John went after Dr. Steve, Quadfather felt uncomfortable at that, left the show, and then John said he declared that Quadfather's in prison for the rest of his life, that it's karma, that he's in a wheelchair.
It's so
That was really rude.
like, what do
such
friends?
a nice guy.
Don't friends fuck with each other a little bit and you take it and you kind of give it
Yeah,
back?
you bust balls.
yeah, you take a loss. He should
can't-
take the loss.
He
can't.
cannot take that.
No.
After all, I fucked 3 centerfolds.
You know, I left a cut out there too. There was one cut where he declares that he is the smartest person in the Dabbleverse too. That his degree is better than anyone else's degree, and therefore he's smarter than everyone else because he graduated from NYU Film School or whatever the fuck. Even though he never, well, he did make a film actually.
Did he?
Yeah, is it Three's Company or Three's a Crowd or something where
He
he's
also-
trying to get in a three-way for the whole movie? It bombed. Reviews are hideous.
He also opened up for Ted Nugent. So
Yeah.
so I've heard.
Wonder if that's on
Rockford, Illinois.
Is that on Setlist FM?
It's probably the only city in Illinois he can name outside of Chicago, don't you think? Because
Probably.
he's been there.
Well, why would they have the fight in Rockford, Illinois, where he opened for Ted Nugent?
Well,
Have you ever heard anything so ridiculous?
Because he's trying to think of the halfway point
Yeah.
between Vegas and New York. So he said Iowa, and that's probably too far west.
And of course
okay,
it just-
Illinois. And then in his head, he's going, okay, I need to think of a city in Illinois. I've been to Rockford.
You couldn't even think of
Happens to be
Chicago.
somewhere that I did something incredible with my career. One of my many credits opening for Ted Nugent in Rockford.
Jim, that event is too small for Chicago. That's why it has to be in Rockford, Illinois.
Should be in Gary, Indiana. At Jackson's old house.
Gary, Indiana. Gary, Indiana stinks.
I was explaining that to the girls when we drove to Chicago. I'm like, girls, we're in Gary, Indiana, the smelliest city in America.
Did they notice?
They blamed me for it. They thought I farted.
of course
I'm
they
like,
did.
no, I would not have timed it that good.
I think the bridge on 75 South in like Del Rey rivals it, but there's a short period where it stinks pretty bad.
You mean the
Heading to
waft,
downriver.
waft from Zug Island?
Yeah, yeah.
Zug Island doesn't smell as bad as Gary.
Gary
It's all salt.
stinks.
It
I mean, you
stinks
roll down the
bad.
window for about 10 minutes. It stinks.
At
It
least
really
the city
does.
looks beautiful.
Well, that's
Why-
where
why did-
Jackson was last a child, right?
Why does Gary stink?
Left his childhood.
What do they make there that stinks
Got to be sulfur.
so bad?
It's got to be some kind of sulfur, right?
I know there's all kinds of factories there.
Yeah,
though,
it's
just
very
blowing off
industrial.
stank.
Ugh.